Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing the first ever Overwatch 2 bracket on all the heroes on which one takes the most skill. So you guys are in chat are going to be able to vote in Twitch chat on which heroes you guys think are going to require the most amount of skill. We're going to find out who the victor is, who the absolute Chad Chungus hero is in this game that requires the most mechanical, game sense, experience, all of it together, mushed up into one, whichever hero requires the most general skill here in Overwatch. So we're going to be jumping into it. Our first lineups is Junker Queen versus Junkrat. Junker Queen or Junkrat? Honestly, in this lineup, this matchup here between Junkrat and Junker Queen, I mean, I've played a little bit of Junkrat, and I played a little bit of Junker Queen. They both take some sort of accuracy based to play correctly. In the current state of Overwatch, you know what's funny? I'd probably pick Junkrat. Junker Queen's like a good hero, and she does require skill, but I think mechanically there's a lot more that Junkrat has, more complexity. Not saying Junkrat's hard to play; he's very easy to get value, but the hero in of himself, I think requires more skill to play than Junker Queen, in my opinion. All right, what do we got? First round on the vote. Wow. Junker Queen leading it 11-2. Damn. All right, Junker Queen moving on. Ooh, oh, this is going to be a spicy one. Oh, I didn't even realize this how spicy this one was going to be. Next up, Kiriko and Lucio. This is interesting because honestly, I don't really know how to play either of these heroes like at a high level. Kiriko, I will say right now, gets a lot of value very easily. Lucio does kind of as well, but I would say at least Lucio is a lot easier to feed on than Kiriko. Now, Kiriko's kit does have a lot of timing-based factors to it, like Suzu, jump. You have to land your kunai knives. The healing is pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy, but everything else, the Kitsune rush, timing, like all that stuff's pretty good. But you can say the same for Lucio. I mean, Lucio's pretty tough to get value on. I know that from experience, is that if I suck at Lucio, I'm doing nothing for my team, dude. I am doing nothing. Lower skill floor, but higher potential if you're God Lucio. I think I want to agree with that. All right, what do we got in the rolls? Drum roll, please. God, these margins are so large. Lucio taking the cake, 10-3 against Kiriko. Honestly, I'm not too surprised. I probably would have agreed with that. Lucio, it's very easy to be bad at Lucio. It's very hard to be very good at him, in my opinion, so I'm not too surprised by that. All right, chat, we're heading to the other side of the board. Onto our next lineup, Orisa versus Moira. This is actually really funny. Oh, damn, this is a tough one. All right, chat, which of these heroes takes more skill? Moira or Orisa? Old Orisa I voted for, new Orisa I don't know. Yeah, I think I might have agreed with. That's why it's so tough now. The old Orisa, in my opinion, definitely it was way harder to get consistent value on the old Orisa. The new Orisa is pretty straightforward. You get value. You press a button and you get value on literally everything. Everything in her kit just instantly gets value, just by using it. With that being said, so does Moira, in a way. Moira's not really too tough to get value on. Now, I will say positioning on Moira is a little bit more... she can get punished on positioning a little bit more, but, I mean, when you think about it, healing's easy, right-click's easy. Using Cole is basically just you got to use it at the team fight. Orbs, don't even get me started on orbs. This is a spicy one, dude. I honestly don't know which way this is going to go. And the poll says... Orisa. This was way closer, by the way. Orisa with 10 votes. Moira with 7. Damn, this was a close one. I'm actually surprised. I thought Moira was going to take the cake on this one. In my opinion, she seems like she would be the one to go up because Orisa is pretty straightforward. But all right, Orisa moves on. I can't argue with chat. Next one, ooh, Mei and Mercy. This is already, bro. This is gonna be a spicy one. We got a lot of Mercy players here too, but a lot of Mei players too. So we'll see how this one works out. Spicy. Mercy's easy as fuck, especially compared to Mei. If you ask Mercy players, and I will say Mercy is difficult as well. Mercy does take skill, a lot of positioning, a lot of game sense. Mechanically, obviously not as much mechanical abilities. But it still requires skill. And so you could say the same thing about Mei, that Mei doesn't require much mechanical. Some people will say that. I obviously would disagree, but this could go either way. A lot of people are passionate about Mercy, but obviously our community is based mainly around Mei players. So that's what I'm saying, dude. This could go either way. This really could go either way. By the way, these are all randomized. So these matchups, I didn't plan these. I just I threw them. They were just completely random. We'll see. I haven't even taken a look at how these ended up. All right, and the result is okay. All right. Mei by 14, Mercy at 4. Okay. In my opinion, I honestly think that these two heroes do require a lot of skill. People don't really realize it until you actually learn how to play that hero, how much skill it requires. So that's why I was thinking it's a little bit. It's a pretty even matchup, mainly because especially Mercy mains know how much skill it requires to play that hero, just not in a traditional sense. All right, Mei moves on, and we have completed our first round, and we're on to the bulk of the matchups here. All right, up next, Pharah versus Junker Queen. Now, for those that play Pharah, at least when I play Pharah, dude, I can't kill anything, and I feed my brains out. Junker Queen, I mean, I am a former tank player, so Junker Queen is a little bit more natural for me. Just out of the gate, I felt like I was able to get pretty easy value with her. Pharah, I don't know, man. Coming down to like DPS, I might just suck at Pharah. But I'd say for sure, I don't know. I'm trying not to give any answers, but just giving my thoughts. Pharah, I just feed on. Positioning obviously is really important with Pharah. Being able to lead your targets, using your concussion blasts. Being able to use ultimate without dying during it. Junker Queen, on the other hand, tank positioning, got to be aggressive, got to be able to time out your abilities so you can actually use them properly in the ults. All right, and the results are Pharah with 12 votes, Junker Queen with 5. Doesn't surprise me, honestly. Pharah moves on to the next round, and up next we got Ramattra versus Reaper. Now this is spicy because I feel like the longer Overwatch goes and the higher up you get, you start to realize a lot of heroes that don't traditionally you wouldn't think require a lot of skill actually do require a lot of skill. It's just in weird areas, which make them playable or unplayable. Now Ramattra, on one hand, very diverse kit. Shield is very unique. Timing on the shield is very important because once you're down your shield, it has a very decently long cooldown before you can use it again. He's the first momentum tank between his Annihilation and normal mode. His ultimate, obviously, notoriously extremely easy to get value on. So we'll be factoring that in as well to the poll, I'm sure. Reaper, though, has a lot of mobility, positioning. His range is terrible, though, so he definitely has to flank well, be unheard before he approaches the targets. Ult, you can get pretty good value on it, but it's pretty easily countered as well. So Reaper's kit's a little bit more simplistic, but we'll see how this pull. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, we have our first tie between Ramattra and Reaper. That's a toughie. All right, chat. Ugh. Okay, so obviously I'm going to have to be the tiebreaker on this one. So in my opinion, between these two heroes, in the current state of Overwatch 2, I would probably say it requires more skill to play Reaper than it does Ramattra right now. Mainly because Reaper is so easily countered. To play him well and use his abilities, it's very hard to get value on him right now, and it does require very good positioning, very good game sense, and a lot of patience. So that being said, I'm going to put Reaper into the next bracket. Next up, we got Reinhardt and Roadhog. And I feel like coming out of this previous season, people are going to have some pretty strong opinions on this one. All right, New Hog makes this tough. I know, that's what I'm saying. Coming out of the previous season, obviously Roadhog was extremely broken. Very strong hero. He has since been nerfed. But objectively looking at their kits and their gameplay, we got Reinhardt, who mainly is the biggest factor in Reinhardt is the fact that you definitely want to be aggressive with him, being able to manage your shield health as well as your charge abilities and your shatter, being able to land fire strikes. But the big thing about Reinhardt is managing his shield. On the other hand, Roadhog is all about being able to position correctly, so he's able to land those hooks while also survive at the same time. A little bit more of a solo tank on Roadhog. Reinhardt, obviously more of a team-based tank. I think I know what this poll is going to be, but let's see. Never. Yeah, it's pretty strong opinions. All right. Wow, this is probably the widest margin that we've seen on this bracket yet. Reinhardt coming in at 16 votes. Roadhog coming in at a meager, tiny, pitiful 2 votes. So obviously Reinhardt's going to move on to the next round. Next up, we got Sigma and Sojourn. Yeah, I think this goes without saying. I think I know what people are going to say, but honestly, this is what I'm going to say. When I play Sojourn, okay, as a Mei player, all right, which, again, I wouldn't say I'm the most mechanically inclined. I'm much more game sense inclined in communication. Every time I've played Sojourn, I suck bad. I don't get value at all. So she definitely requires a large amount of mechanical skill. With that being said, you don't really have to position that well as Sojourn. She's very mobile, especially with the Mercy Pocket. You just get free value if you can just know how to aim well, whatever elo you're in. Sigma, on the other hand, pretty a good variety of his kit as far as managing shield, his suck, his accretion, the rock that he has, and his ultimate. Yeah, it's a lot of managing his kit. But again, he doesn't require too much skill because a lot of those, I mean, they bounce around. They've got a really good AoE for his primary. I think this all comes down to what we consider more important, mechanical skill or game sense skill, and which one requires more skill to be good at. All right, let's check it out. I already think I know the answer to this one. Yeah. Sigma takes it, 12 votes, Sojourn at 5. So Sigma's going to be moving on to the next round here. I know there's DPS players that are playing Sojourn out there that right now they're going to be furious. Absolutely furious, bro. I'm going to be seeing this in the YouTube comments when this video is posted up, man. People are going to be like, actually. All right, chat, next one. Soldier versus Lucio. Both heroes have an AoE healing ability. One is a hit scan, one is a projectile here. One has an ultimate that locks on to enemy heroes. One has an ultimate that gives barriers to everybody around them. Between these two, positioning wise, I honestly think Soldier requires a little bit more positioning. It's pretty easy to punish a Soldier, even though he's got that mobility. Lucio gets out of stuff way too often. I will say that as far as positioning goes. Game sense wise, I'm going to say Lucio takes way more skill than Soldier does. Soldier is more about just knowing when you need to get on the flank and when to approach heroes. That's about it. But Lucio's a much more complex positioning hero. I think I don't want to speak early for chat. Oh my lord! Woo, buddy, we got our first blowout of the night. Lucio with a staggering 16 votes. Soldier with none. 0. We got no votes on Soldier. Poor guy, man. Poor guy. Yo, all the Soldier players out there, I'm sorry. But I probably will agree with the Lucio pick there. Up next, we got Sombra and Symmetra. Little double DPS lineup. Both these heroes tend to be more niche picks, at least for the general Overwatch player. Obviously, a lot of people can one-trick these and still get to GM Top 500 because they are still very viable heroes. Well, Sombra depends on who you ask right now. But both of them very niche DPS picks. Sombra's much more about, they're both honestly very team-oriented heroes. They provide a lot of utility to the team. One through pressure and disabling abilities, which gains an edge for your team if they're able to capitalize on it. Symmetra provides a lot of defense benefits, including turrets, but as well as being able to reposition teams very effectively. Even during big ultimates like Zarya's Grav, you can TP out of. If you can time it with like a nano tank, you can always use it to reposition quickly, so you can kite away from the nano tank or whatever abilities coming in. Both of them, I'd say, require a decent amount of skill, considering they're both niche picks as well. All right, I think this is going to be pretty close. In my opinion, I think this is going to be a close matchup. Okay, and I was right. Very close matchup. Sombra barely taking the cake from Symmetra. Sombra with 9 votes, Symmetra with 8. I'd probably... That's a tough one, man. I've played both of these heroes a decent amount, and they're in my opinion they're pretty much neck and neck. Sombra moves around a lot more, so it looks like a lot more skill is being put into it because it's a lot faster of a roll. But Sim, I'd say is the same thing, man. Even though it's more static gameplay, it takes a lot of skill, game sense to play that hero effectively. All right, up next we got Ana. Oh, this is a fun one. This is a fun one. Ana versus Doomfist. Oh, this is going to be the showdown. Now, I obviously have a very strong opinion about this one, but I'm going to be very objective between the two. So, first off, starting with Ana. Ana's got a pretty complex kit. It's accuracy based, very accuracy based. Whether it's her primary, her sleep dart, her biotic nade are all very mechanically based, as well as takes a lot of skill to use them properly. Nano a little bit easier of an ult. You just got to make sure you use it at the right time at the right target. Doomfist also has a pretty interesting kit. A lot of movement in there. Does require a lot of positioning, a lot of game sense to know where everybody is, where they're at any given time. The ultimate's not too mechanically difficult, but definitely requires a little bit of prediction, game sense to realize where you're going to use that. So I'd say both these heroes are pretty neck and neck for the most part. I think I know where this is going to go. I'm not going to be happy about it, but we'll see. Oh my God. We got a 10 and 10 chat, which means it's going to come down to streamer man to break this tie. And I got to say, I am sorry. So sorry. So all the Doomfist mains out there, I got to put my girl Ana above that. I think personally she requires an immense amount of skill. Definitely more than Doomfist does. Her positioning, I'd say, is even more important than Doomfist. Her kit usage is way more important than Doomfist. If you misuse anything in Ana's kit or her positioning, you are punished immediately. In my opinion, this is probably one of the hardest heroes to play in the game. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give that one to Ana. Rest in peace to our Doom enthusiasts. All right, up next. Also want to be fun. Ball or Winton? Taking a look at these two heroes. I mean, honestly, they both require a lot of skill. And it depends on who you ask. In my opinion, anyone below Master is probably going to say Wrecking Ball takes more skill. The majority of people, I'd say Master or GM or above, especially top 500, especially professional players, are probably going to say Winston. And here's why. Wrecking Ball mechanically, obviously very demanding. The problem is once you really it's pretty easy to master mechanics for a hero. The thing that takes way longer to master is game sense. And I will say Winston takes way more game sense than Wrecking Ball. Takes timing, takes positioning, very easy to punish if you don't play him properly, especially as you get up higher in the ranks. But again, Wrecking Ball mechanically does require a lot. He's probably one of the most complex heroes in the game. So it really does come down to who you ask. I think they both require a large amount of skill between the two tanks. We still haven't come across what I think is the most skilled tank in the game yet. So we'll see if we get there. So results for this one come in, and we got, this is a pretty good one. Ball coming in with 16 votes. Winton coming in with 7. So I'm not too surprised. Plat chat in the house. No, I'm kidding. I do agree. Ball takes a large amount of skill. So Ball's going to move on. In my opinion, which is a little bit of a hot take, I'd probably say Winston. But again, that's coming from a very small pool of people. I'd say most top, like high tier players would probably agree Winston. But again, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying high tier players are always right. I'm just saying it's going to come down to who you ask. Is what you got there. All right, so we have completed the first half of the second round. We are on to the second half, breezing along here as we come into, oh no! These are probably our two most played heroes this season so far, mainly because obviously we play May, but we also did a Brigitte 100 game challenge, so now we're on to, this is going to be, especially for my audience, this is going to be hard. This is going to be hard to have to kill one of these heroes off in the bracket. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but I've played both, and I will say I've played both of these a lot. I'm not going to say which one I think is my pick, but I do believe, yeah, I got my pick for sure in case this is the time. But going from the top, we got Brigitte, who requires a lot of positioning and game awareness. And I will say that's the biggest thing about her is her awareness and her positioning. Her kit, obviously, pretty easy to use, but again, if you use it improperly, very easy to punish. If you use Whip Shot on something that you should have waited for, you can get demolished immediately. If you use Shield Bash incorrectly, you will get demolished immediately. Very defensive hero. Ults. The ult's kind of weird right now. It's kind of hard to make an opinion on that because it's not very great right now. So even if you use it fantastic, it still doesn't really get too much value. Mei, obviously, wide kit, everything, yada, yada, yada. Let's just see what our results are. Very close. Oh my God, my girl Mei almost got knocked out. 11-10. 11 votes for Mei, 10 on Brig. Mei barely takes the cake on this one. That was a close one, dude. Woo! Yeah, in my opinion, I still think Mei takes a lot more skill than Brigitte. No, I don't want to say a lot. Well, yeah, no, I'd say a significant amount more skill. But after playing Brig, I will say she's a pretty difficult hero to play. Definitely does require a lot of experience to play it correctly. I would say if I didn't have as much experience game sense wise, it would have been much harder to play Brigitte. I would have fed a lot more. But I think my game sense definitely got challenged when I played her for those 100 games. So I definitely respect the Brig pick now. All right, Baptiste versus Bastion. Honestly, both these heroes aren't really popularly played right now. I've played both. I actually played a lot of Baptiste when he was first released. Got him up to like High Master, I think almost GM, just playing Baptiste alone. But recently I've been playing a lot more Bastion. And I haven't really played too much Baptiste. So I don't really know exactly how he plays right now. But again, his kit's pretty much the same. Baptiste is all about accuracy and timing. Whether it's his Immortality Field or his window, his ultimate, being used timing-wise. But again, so is Bastion. Bastion now, with a cooldown for his Sentry and Turret form, or sorry, just his Turret form, it's all about timing. A little bit more accuracy on the Sticky Bomb. Ultimate's pretty hard. I'd say pretty hard to get value on, just because so many people can get out of it. So I always respect a Bastion that can get some good picks when they're playing it. And they're, oh my God. Oh my God. Chat, you guys are savage. Bro, there is no sanctuary for Bastion players out there, man. Yo, hey, respect to Bastion players out there, man. I think the hero takes decent amount of skill. But I would probably agree, Baptiste still does take a little bit more skill in my opinion. I just thought this was going to be a closer matchup. Next up, we got Ashe versus Cassidy. Oh, this is a fun little matchup. Ashe versus Cassidy, chat. How are we feeling on this one? So Ashe versus Cassidy, both of them obviously hit scans. One a little bit more mid-range, one a little bit more long-range. Ashe has her Dynamite, which is an AoE burn ability. Cassidy has a Sticky Bomb, which literally can homing beacon whoever he wants to throw it on within a range. One ultimate, you just point in a direction and send a little Omnic. The other guy, Deadeye, auto locks onto people. You just got to stay alive during it. Yeah, it's a lot. I'd say both of them take a lot of positioning. Obviously mechanical abilities as well. So this really could go either way. I feel like they're the same hero, just with minor differences in my opinion. So let's see what we got here. This should be a close one. Ashe coming in with 16. Cassidy at 7. Damn, so we got a lot of people out there thinking that Cassidy doesn't take much skill. Sorry Cassidy players. I don't really know many Ashe one tricks. Next one. Oh, the flankers. The flanker matchup here. Oh, this has got to be tough. This has got to be tough for flank DPS players because they probably play both these heroes in their kit. I can't think of a single Tracer player that doesn't also play Genji or vice versa. Every time I see a career profile with either of these as the most played, the second one is always the other. So this could go either way. Tracer, in my opinion, requires more discipline. Using her kit, ultimate is also very hard to get value on. I would say it's pretty difficult to get pulse bombs landed on targets at all elos. So I can always respect that. Genji, same thing. Kit does need to make sure it's being used for the right things, or else you can feed pretty quickly. Blades, but kind of easy to get value on, kind of hard to get value on at the same time. But I see big blades more than I see big pulses. So these are real, in my opinion, this is another same. This has got to be close, dude. This has got to be a close matchup. There's no way that this is one-sided. Yeah, it's pretty close. Pretty close. Tracer taking the cake barely. 11 votes for Tracer, 9 on Genji. I'm not too surprised that was a close matchup between the two. So, but Tracer's got to move on. Genji left in the dust. Rip our Genji players. Oh, ooh. Okay, this is gonna be a split one, man. Are you doing the signal? All right, chat. I have a Mexican that's delivering my food for me, and it's Taco Bell, real Mexican food. Thank you. Sir. Are these 3 burritos?
You got the extra. Or one of them.
Oh no! You take the extra taco.
No, I got the good.
Oh, you got the good one? Oh, we got 2 tacos?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that was a good deal then. Yes. I just got taco. Wait, do you want to say how to stream? This is a verified Mexican hand right here. Yeah. Dos tacos. All right, thanks, man. All right, chat. On to the next one. Orisa versus Widowmaker. And we have our final matchup with Orisa here. I'm still surprised Orisa went on to the next round, in my opinion. Oops, sorry. Widow versus Orisa. And honestly, bro, this is a pretty hot take. Because the standard person would probably think the sniper takes more skill. But a lot of people make the case that Widow doesn't require much skill at all. She is almost 100% mechanically based. Obviously, she does take positioning, game sense as well. But yeah, I'd say the majority of her skill comes out mechanically, obviously. If you can't get picks with Widow, you're basically doing air. In my opinion, then you got Orisa, who again just gets value by pressing buttons. In my opinion, Orisa right now you don't even have to have mechanical ability to get value. You just got to play her. I would still say Widowmaker, but, who am I? Who am I to have an opinion, You need to aim it. If you don't, then you're screwed. That's my opinion. At least you have to have mechanical ability, in my opinion. Widowmaker coming in with 18. Orisa with 4. And I agree. No hate to Orisa players. I used to be an Orisa main. Back when she came out, I was top 500 Orisa player. Loved her. She took plenty of skill. I think the new Orisa is pretty brain dead, in my opinion. Which sucks because it's no longer that fun to play. All right, Widow moves on. We got Zarya and Hanzo. Little grab dragon action going on. Now, Zarya is a tracking hero. She does shoot a beam, which I will say tracking is a skill. Mechanical skill, definitely. Completely separate from just mechanical aim in general. Got to know bubble management, got to know positioning really well. But not a super difficult hero in my opinion. Not like mega difficult. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we have Hanzo, which Hanzo is kind of just a point and click hero right now. Now, he does require accuracy. You do have to be able to shoot. He's a projectile, so you do have to know how to lead as well. Ultimate's pretty straightforward. Not too much skill involved in the ult, in my opinion. You just gotta, as long as you know how to use it right, that's once you know how to use it properly, you're pretty much set. So I'd say both these heroes are, this could go either way, in my opinion. I would say personally, Zarya takes more skill. Oh, and it looks like there's my answer. This wasn't even split. Damn. Zarya with 12 votes, Hanzo with 12. Sorry to all my Hanzo players. I gotta move Zarya into the next slot as the official tiebreaker here. But you will die knowing that your hero put up a very solid fight against Zarya. Torbjorn versus Diva, which, in my opinion, both do require skill. One more than the other. This is a spicy one. Not this. I'm talking about my burrito. Very spicy. Torb definitely does take some skill. But I think it's just dwarfed. I think it's dwarfed by the amount of game sense that's required from Diva players. Especially up in higher ranks, dude. Diva players require so much freaking game sense. Diva's my highest pick, by the way, chap, for the most skilled tank. I think she requires the most skill out of all the tanks. A good Diva player, you don't really see it. But a good Diva player takes so much game sense and so much mechanical ability. It's insane, dude. You go and watch these Overwatch League players. Think Poco, for example. The amount of skill that it requires to play Diva at a high level is insane. Literally baffles me. That's why I can't play her at top 500. She requires way too much skill to hold up there. Yeah, not surprisingly, Diva coming in with 23 votes. Torb with 3 votes. All right. Oh, are we almost done with our next round? All right, chat. This is the final one of round 2. We got Zen versus Echo. Now, I will say I don't really have too much experience on Echo. I have played Zen. I do know Zen takes a decent amount of skill. It's mainly positioning. Positioning is so important on Zen. It's crazy. And obviously, you have to have mechanical skill to land shots. But so do you. You have to have that on Echo, too. Positioning, very important. Kit usage, very important. She's a projectile as well. Very strong. Her ultimate's very, very strong. Does take skill. So does Trance, though. Honestly, these are two very high skill heroes, in my opinion. I do have a bias, so I'm not going to say much on this. Wow. Wow. Oh my god. I thought it was going to be closer than that. And honestly, I thought Zen was going to take the cake on that. I'll take it. I'll take it. Honestly, I feel like I don't know enough. I could see Echo taking more skill than Zen. Zen gets knocked out in his first battle. Sorry, Zen players. Let's have a moment of silence for all our Zen players out there. And that is it for round 2, baby. Round 3, semifinals. Honestly, I'm surprised that Reaper and Pharah made it this far. First fight of round 3. I've got a pretty. I think I'm favoring one side over the other though. I'd say one takes a little bit more global awareness than the other. I'm interested to see if you guys agree with this. I feel like I'm biased towards one side because playing in a higher elo for so long, I kind of know which heroes are really hard to play up in a high elo. Mainly because people are better mechanically and game sense wise. So when people are really good at like a lot of stuff, it makes playing certain heroes more difficult. My opinion, yeah, I agree with chat. Pharah is more difficult in my opinion. Pharah comes in with 13, Reaper at 8. Say goodbye to our Edge Boy chat. Oh no, the Battle of the Titans. Both tanks requiring an immense, in my opinion, an immense amount of skill. But I'll say that about half the tank roster. Reinhardt and Sig. I've played both, obviously, quite a bit. Some require more management than others. Some more mechanical abilities. One better timing. Wow, this could, damn. I feel like I'm biased towards, I don't want to say biased anymore. Not that I'm biased. I favor one because I like one more than the other. It's more fun. But in my opinion, I might have to go with the other one. Just objectively. In my opinion, one of them is definitely requires more overall skill to play at a high level, in my opinion. I want to agree with you, chat, but I personally think Sigma takes more skill. Now, I feel like a lot of people are loyal to Reinhardt because Chad Reinhardt's, we love our Reinhardt players. They get a lot of flack because he's like an easy hero to play, but he requires an insane amount of skill. I think globally, overall, though, if you were to add it all up, I think you have to play the game longer to play Sigma better than Reinhardt. I think Reinhardt's kind of out of the box. You can get value on him. Compared to Sigma, Sigma's pretty much, if you just don't know how to use his kit effectively, you're basically useless. And for that reason, I would probably agree with Sigma. But Reinhardt, obviously, chat has decided that Reinhardt with 15 votes, Sigma with 8. Reinhardt moving on to the next round. Goodbye, Sigma. I think we're going to see where the loyalties lie on this one. We got Lucio, our boy, who I would say classically is known to require a lot of skill. Sombra, not as widely played, but we know that it's hard to get value on Sombra. Very easy to feed on Sombra. Getting value is quite difficult on her, I will say that. Now, you got to just take into consideration the skill ceiling of both, though. How high is the skill ceiling for Sombra? How high is the skill ceiling for Lucio? Which hero, like, because they both require so much skill overall. Which one has a higher skill ceiling? Yep, I agree with chat. Lucio coming in with 18 votes. Sombra with 6. That was a stomp. That was an Overwatch matchmaking classic stomp right there. That was the Sombra team had a diamond tank player, while the Lucio team had a top 500 tank player, but it was still balanced. Kind of shutout, you know what I mean? 18 to 6, Sombra falls out of the race. Lucio moves on to the next round. All right, chap. Oh, this is a tough one for me. Yeah, this is a tough one for me. I like both of these heroes. These are probably my favorite support is Ana. My favorite tank is Wrecking Ball. So this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt me personally. Having to get rid of one of these heroes, it hits me right in the gut, man. They both take a lot of mechanical ability to play correctly. Ana's ultimate requires timing. Wrecking Ball's ultimate requires timing and accuracy, as well as movement. I think Ana requires more global skill, but the skill cap for Ball is just so high. Ball has such a high skill cap. So taking both those into consideration, and I've played both a lot, chat. I have played both of these heroes a lot. And me personally, man, let's see if chat agrees. Chat agrees. Ana with 19 votes, Ball with 9. Ana, man, Ana, that's what I'm saying. Ana is just, it takes so much. So much. It's so easy to be bad at Ana. And she does. She has a super high skill cap as well. Ana moves on. I agree. I agree. All right, to the other side of the board. Second half of the semifinals are commencing. May or Baptiste. This is actually pretty interesting because I feel like these two heroes are very similar in the way that they positioning. They're more static players. They tend to play closer-ish to the tanks, especially if you're doing frontline. Both are pretty typical in Brawl. Kind of like you'll see Bap in Brawl sometimes too, especially for Immortality when it's strong. Both require their primaries are accuracy based. One's a projectile, one's a hit scan. Both ultimates are pretty easy to use. Both of them are difficult to get value on. They both require an insane amount of timing. When I tell you Maze ult and Baptiste ult, if you time it incorrectly, 0 value immediately. You have to time it so perfectly to get value on both those ults right now. Honestly, chat, I'm not even gonna say that May wins because either one. Honestly, either one. Oh, that was a close one. May with 12 votes, Baptiste with 11. Not surprisingly, I think they require very close to the same amount of skill. I agree, 100%, 100% that that was a very close match. I'm not gonna say either one. Honestly, if you were to ask me, I would be so indifferent, like between the two, on which one has more skill that I wouldn't even be able to choose. So maybe it was on though. We do have to acknowledge the bias for chat for that one. So if you're a Bat player, no hate. No hate. All right, chat, up next. Ashe versus Tracer. All right, Ashe versus Tracer. Which one requires more skill of these two? Damn, I feel like when you line up Ashe and Tracer together, there's a very clear winner. In my opinion, when I line these two up right here, looking at them, I'm like, clearly this one over the other. There's no shot the one I don't think wins this. Yep. Wow. 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 24-2. Damn, I didn't think it was gonna be that much of a shutout, but I agree. Tracer takes way more skill than Ashe. In my opinion, Tracer takes way more skill. I'm surprised that Ashe made it up here. Tracer takes a kick on that one. No big surprise there. 24-2. Damn. I didn't think there was going to be that big of a shutout in the semifinals. That's crazy. Widow versus Zarya. I feel like people have split opinions on these two heroes, on whether they're good or not. I feel like there's a very large camp of people that say Widow doesn't take any skill, and a very large camp that say she takes a lot of skill. Same thing with Zarya. Very stark opinion. Very opinionated on both these heroes, in my opinion. I'm using opinion a lot. My opinion is that the opinions of the opinionated crowd are opinions that should be considered as opinions. Zarya feels so easy to me, but I find her really boring. Widow looks simple on the surface, but she is so hard to actually be consistent with. I agree with that as well. Consistency on Widow is very difficult. And you see that because you'll have a Widow in one game. Like a Widow player in one game will just pop off like crazy. And then the next match, they'll just be utter trash. You'll be like, what happened, dude? Dude, I gotta get through so much Taco Bell right now. He hit me with that third taco, dude. I only ordered 2. Widow taking in 13 votes. Zarya with 8. I'd probably agree with that too. Zarya does take skill, but Widow I think has a higher skill cap. Widow moves on to the quarterfinals. Ooh. Oh, whoa. Diva versus Echo. You know what? I'm not gonna say anything this time, chat. I just want to see what you guys vote. I feel like I'm very opinionated on this one. I mean, I think for the general Overwatch player, this one's pretty tough. I have my own opinions on this, so I don't want to bias anybody because again, I'm not right all the time. Like just because I've played the game a lot doesn't mean I'm right about everything. That's more than I can say about a lot of other Overwatch content creators that think they know everything. Just because we've been playing the game for a while, chat, and just because we're high ranked doesn't mean we know everything. Bing bong. I'm not calling out anybody in particular. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, no. Damn. You guys are really going to make me do this, aren't you?
You mean to tell me that the geriatric grandma who doesn't even have a grapple hook requires more skill than the turbo chat hamster who is already playing at a disadvantage being the shortest hero? Restart the list and do it right this time.
All right, I do have to put D.Va in the lead, chat. I'm sorry, D.Va for me is just she's a powerhouse. I've seen too many bad divas. I've seen very few good divas, and when I see a good diva, it is scary. I can deal with good echoes. A good echo, in my opinion, a really good echo knows how to use her properly, knows how to position, but she's just so powerful. She has so much power that's just packed into her kit that it's very easy to get away with a lot of the basics and climb a lot with her. D.Va, on the other hand, I think it's very tough. You got to know her in and out, man. All right, chat, we are done with the semi-finals. We are left with Pharah, Reinhardt, Lucio, Ana, Mei, Tracer, Widow, D.Va. Can I just point out that these are all characters that were available during launch? Oh, wait, no, Ana. Just kidding. Ana wasn't. We have no new heroes in this. Yeah, Vanagus, I was thinking the same thing. This chart does kind of highlight something about the certain character game design. But I don't know if that's just because people are more familiar with the classic heroes or have like an affinity for the classic one. I'm finally done eating while we're trying to do this freaking thing. But it was delicious, man. Taco Bell, goated all the time. Quarterfinals, round 1. Pharah versus Reinhardt. Yeah, I feel like as we're getting closer, this is getting tougher because it's getting down to very like minutia type stuff. See, on this one, I would probably say, damn. Mechanically, obviously Pharah. Game sense wise, very obviously Reinhardt. I don't think Pharah takes as much game sense as Reinhardt, and obviously Reinhardt doesn't take as much mechanical ability as Pharah. Yeah, I agree with chat. Ryan taking the cake, 12-9. Pharah with the 9 votes. Ryan with the 12. It was close, but in this matchup, I feel like Ryan clearly beats Pharah in that one. All right, Reinhardt moves on. The support Colossus matchup. Lucio versus Ana. These are the Titans right here, chat. This is the absolute Titan matchup of the century right here. Lucio, heavily mechanic. A lot of experience, a lot of muscle memory required to play Lucio. A lot of practice. Ana, I'd say overall more mechanically demanding. Way easier to punish than Ana. Her ultimate, very, very important. You can either throw it or get a lot of really good value on it. But it takes, in my opinion, takes more decision making. Lucio still does take decision making, especially between speed, like speeding the team. Speed is a very important ability, very hard to master. A lot of communication from Lucio is required, in my opinion. Ana a little bit less. Damn, wow, this is tough. Ooh. Okay, stacking these two up next to each other. Okay, let's see what we got. Ana 14, Lucio 9. I hate to say it, but I disagree with Chop. I love Ana, but when I stack them up next to each other, I definitely think that Lucio requires more skill, in my opinion. But again, that's an opinion of mine. Ana obviously moves on to the next round. I like going back. I did say that I think Ana takes the most skill out of all the supports, but matching her up against the Lucio, it puts it in perspective on which one really is more difficult to master. And I think Lucio took the cake on that one. But Ana's a very close, very, very close to that Lucio mark. It's just I had a feeling for Lucio over the two. Okay, this is I feel like this one is definitely gonna tell us what kind of audience we have. This is Mei versus Tracer. Both flex DPS picks. But it's gonna come down to which one you guys think is more important between these two. Mechanical ability. Both require game sense. Both require mechanical ability and game sense. One more heavily on mechanical, one more on utility, in opportunity. This is what I'm saying. Both of them are, in my opinion, very highly skilled DPS. It's gonna come down which one you guys think requires more skill, like time, effort. Like which one do you think requires more time and effort to get to a high level, a higher skill cap? Me personally, again, this is coming down. Even though I'm a Mei player, chat, I think this is even. This is even. This is gonna come down to what in chat you guys think is more valuable as a player. Because in my opinion, mechanical abilities, especially for Tracer, and mixing that with positioning, require just as much time as it takes to get good with Mei. And opportunities with walls, communication, rotations, I think they require probably the same amount of time to become good enough to play at a high level. So let's see what you guys pick. Wow. All right. Our queen has finally fallen. Tracer taking the cake with 20 votes. Mei with 5. Tracer comes in. Moving on to the quarterfinals. I can't say it doesn't hurt. But anyways, I respect the decision, chat. I respect the decision. All right. Tracer moves on. Up next. This will be a spicy one. Widow versus D.Va. This is interesting because I feel like between these two, it almost comes down. This is almost the same argument between Tracer and Mei. Widow requiring probably out of all the heroes requiring the most value to mechanical ability hero in the game is Widow. The more mechanically inclined you are, the better you are. The more value you'll get from Widow relative to all the other heroes in the game. D.Va quite literally on the flip end of that. Almost completely about positioning, game awareness, and decision making. Literally, I would probably say the stark contrast to Widow is D.Va. D.Va, even though I would say mechanically still requires skill, but not even close to what skill requires of her game awareness and experience, just alone playing the hero, understanding how she works. Widow, on the other hand, taking a large amount of time to get really good mechanically at her. I'd say these are two ends of the spectrum. See what you guys got here. D.Va, and I agree. I don't think Widow even gets close-ish. I don't think Widow gets close to the amount of skill that D.Va requires, in my opinion. So I agree with chat on this one. Good take, chat. Very proud of you. D.Va moves on for our final round. On to the final round. The finals. Reinhardt, Ana, Tracer, and D.Va. All classic Overwatch heroes. Our fallen comrades, Pharah, Lucio, Mei, and Widowmaker get knocked out into our final round here. Ana and Reinhardt are lovers in age. For those that are lore heavy, this one's you never wanted to see this. You never wanted to see these going head to head. But here we are. Reinhardt taking again an argument of game sense, which does require a lot of time to be aware of how to play Reinhardt. I will say it takes a lot of experience playing Reinhardt to get him to a high level. Same with Ana though, but Ana's definitely going to be more mechanically based as far as getting familiar with her kit and how to get value with her kit consistently. Reinhardt, on the other hand, is kind of a hero where your goal, and I've said this before, your goal as a Reinhardt player is to make the least amount of mistakes as possible. Reinhardt's a hero where it's a lot less about making plays and a lot more about making as few mistakes as possible. Now, with that being said, Ana's the same way though. Ana's the same way in the fact that if you make a mistake with Ana, you can get punished for it so quickly. You waste your nade, you can get dove. You waste your sleep dart, the hero that's gonna dive you, that you needed that sleep dart to pressure on it, all of a sudden it's just free reign on you. You waste your nano on a target that's not able to get value with it, all of a sudden you're down your game, like your winning ultimate, your win condition ultimate. Let's see what we get here. But I've got a strong opinion on which one. Yeah, I agree with chat. Ana at 15, Reinhardt at 10. Ana moves on. I do think Ana requires more skill than Reinhardt. We'll see how many DPS and tank players we got in here. All right, Tracer versus D.Va. Tracer versus D.Va. Chat is down bad for Ana. I kind of agree. I don't know. Let's frame this in the picture of Overwatch League. All right, Overwatch League. Who's winning matches? The team with the better Tracer or the team with the better D.Va? Let's frame it like that. Now that we're getting in the nitty gritty of like all these heroes require an immense amount of skill. All right, which one has a higher skill cap in your opinion? And if you have the better one of these, is going to make the difference in the match? The better Tracer or the better D.Va? And the results are in. What? Bro, I was not expecting that. D.Va got destroyed. D.Va got absolutely destroyed. Damn, dude. Really? I thought this was gonna be the other way around. Damn. I still say Diva. Between Diva and Ana, that's gonna be the tough one for me. But Tracer moves on. The championship to decide who is the most skill-based hero in this game, who requires the most skill to perform at the highest level, will be decided here today. The official scientific findings that we have here will be written in textbooks for generations. And I'm going to change this to which requires more skill to which requires the most skill. Because that is the question that we are answering here today. Which requires the most skill? Obviously, there is an argument for both. They've both made it all the way to the end. It could be either. Is it the Tracer? Is it our cheery DPS, bubbly Tracer player? Or is it the Grandma of Overwatch? The Overseer of Overwatch. Generation versus generation, chat. This is tough. I'm almost scared to look at it. Don't make me do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your champion for the most skilled Overwatch hero in the game, the most mechanically demanding, the most game sense demanding, the most experience-based, the most globally skill-based hero that requires all facets of Overwatch. Not just can they aim and can they shoot, but also do they know how the game works? Do they know how to predict? Do they know how to track ultimates? Do they know how to use their abilities? Do they know how to... All this stuff is super important to their kit. The winner of today's bracket is Ana Amari. Let me clarify by a pretty slim margin. 13 votes for Ana, 9 votes for Tracer. Ana Amari wins the round, chat. Moves on to be our most skilled hero in Overwatch. The one and only Grandma of Overwatch has won today's bracket. Wow. Take a look at that, chat. Take a look at this, man. Woo. Final question, chat. Who do you think, out of everybody in this bracket that lost, who do you think was the closest competitor to Ana? Who do you think would have had the best chance at beating Ana Amari in the championship? Out of all the heroes on this list, who, in your opinion, has the highest chance at beating Ana for most skill-based hero in this chart?